So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So yeah, this is my Limit Break expansion video for February. We have 10 new Limit Break expansions, 8 rare recruits, and 2 limited rare recruits. Starting off, we got this very old Dex Rebecca. She gets -1 CD, but doesn't really matter since she does get reduced special limit break ability. So basically she will be ready at the start of the quest. And she already had pretty low CD to begin with, so potentially you could use her twice in some content. But basically, 50k damage to one enemy, reduces the chain debuffs by 5 turns, and changes adjacent to matching. Actually, I'm pretty not so happy with this. Like, if she got double special instead, she'd been really good. And she will see a lot more use. Now, she's basically the same as before, since her CD is so low that she's ready when you need her. And this is a very small difference, so I'm honestly pretty disappointed. I don't think I will ever do this one, even if I think she's pretty decent. So that's a miss for me, unfortunately. Moving on, we got this Strength Bond Clay, who was very nice for Arena Luffy in particular. He gets -3 CD, which is very good, of course. He goes from having pretty high CD to pretty low, so that's a big difference. He does got Fear, which surprised me since I had no idea what his limit break abilities were. But yeah, when looking at them, it kind of makes sense. Like, here is his special reverse. Sadly, his special doesn't reduce CD, but he kind of does. Like, basically you survive anything for one turn, so you can take that as a pseudo CD reducer, since you can stall a turn and you'll be ready. And he also removes beneficial effects, and that combo of effects was nice for Arena Luffy. So yeah, I think this unit is pretty good as well, pretty unique. So I'll probably limit break expand him eventually, but I'll wait until I want to use him for something. That's my approach for most things at the moment. Moving on, we have Bepo. And he was used quite a bit when I started playing the game, but he's fallen off recently. Also has low CD, gets even lower, so he starts at 9. And he also gets reduced CD, and yeah, I'm not sure about these. Like, I think this is a great limit break ability, but maybe not on units that already have super low CD. The special, pretty outdated, reduces only threshold by 5 and reduces HP by 50%. Like, it does use smoker support, so that's fine. So, yeah, a bit whatever. Sailors are also whatever, yeah. I'm not going to say I'll never do him. Like, units like this, if that limit break expansion is ever important, I'll do it, but yeah, it's hard to see right now, that being the case. Moving on, we got a pretty interesting one, Oven. I don't think I've ever used this Dex Oven, which makes sense when you see his special. But he does get double special, and this is very cool, of course. This is probably the best limit break ability, I say. And the thing is, what can you do with it? And basically, you have a guaranteed 3-turn attack boost for 2 classes, Fighter Powerhouse. And if they're delayed enemies, more classes get a higher boost for 1 turn. That will realistically never happen, so I just see him as a 3-turn attack booster. So with double special, you basically have a 6-turn attack booster potentially, even if low boost. But I do think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I see this mostly as a Garb Challenge unit, and it does reduce crew special bind. So yeah, I felt like all of these together made me want to commit to try him out. So I decided to use a key here actually. I'm a sucker for double special. I think I rainbowed most double special units, including those with limit break expansion. There's 2 double special units in this batch, but I'm only doing Oven for now. The other one is a bit too niche, to say the least. I think we're going to him right now. Yeah, it's Baron Tamago. I just need to spell correctly. He does get -3 CD, so that's nice. He also goes from having a bit higher to pretty low CD, just 9. And double specials, you think that 9 CD double special, that's quite a buff. But basically, if you don't do much, it doesn't really matter if you can do not much twice. Which is what Tamago does. He does some damage and changes all fighter slots, including block, to matching if captain is fighter. And yeah, that's cool. I did use him on a Garp challenge recently, and fighter is getting more stuff, so I'm not going to rule this out, but just changing slots is not really cutting it in 2022. Doing damage is nice though, since yeah, you can use Zero support and such. Fighters getting dex matching is also a bonus, I guess. So yeah, as said, I'm not going to rule this out. I'm just not doing it right now. I'll do it if I ever want to use him. But yeah, I do feel like that's a healthy strat in general, waiting until you actually use stuff, and it's easier now since we can just stack as many masses as we want. Next up is the limited rare recruit Pedro, and he got quite a buff, -2 CD. Brings him down to 11. 11 is so much better than 13. And he also gets Barrier Pan, which is also one of the best Limbrick abilities, so I'm very confident that I'll Limbrick expand this guy very soon. He does an HP cut, so you can use Zero support. Sets defense to 0, and if you have enough slashers, you get orb control and 2 times death down conditional, so a self-proccing death down conditional, as long as you run a basically mono slasher team. And slashers are pretty good now. I've used this Pedro a few times. Pedro has some support as well, like Cat. We want Cat. He also makes slashers dex matching, so yeah, that's quite a buff. Definitely worth Limbrick expanding eventually. This is another unit I like. I've used him a few times. He's fun to use against Offer 2 and such. -2 CD is nice. He also goes from pretty high to pretty good. 11 CD is fine. He gets Enraged, which is one of those. It's fine when increased damage taken is annoying, otherwise you don't really think about it. Like, the extra damage you can get is minimal. He delays, which usually doesn't matter. Then it depends on the captain. The weird thing is that he does nothing if captain is strength. His best effect, in my opinion, is the dex and int ones, is you can change block orbs to matching and get a 3-turn chain lock. I've talked about it recently. I do think 3-turn chain lock is good. The other one is not as good. It's a bit less relevant orb manip and only a 1-turn chain lock. He does resist special bind as well, which is pretty weird, but I might do him eventually, for sure. Moving on, we got the limited rare recruit Carrot. I think this is one of the last limited rare recruits I pulled. I have them all now. She gets -1 CD, down to 12, that's fine. Carrot does have Brûlé support as well, so that's basically 10 CD if you want to use her final stage. Gets Enrage. Yeah, I'll talk about what I think about Enrage. Removes some defensive effects by 3 turns, bind by 5. Pretty decent orb manip. And she can also do a delay conditional, and that's obviously super duper niche, so you can basically almost ignore that thing. But even without that, she's pretty good. But yeah, one of those, if ever needed, but I somehow think that this won't be needed. But sometimes you get surprised. You have an idea, and the only way to make it work is to Limbrick expand some rare recruit. It happens to me like once per month. Moving on, we got this pretty recent Luffy unit from the versus Ace and versus Akainu batch. No C reduction sadly, like he's already low, but you always want to lower. He does get Fear, which makes perfect sense since this Luffy is a special bind reducer. Resists by 5 turns, and now you can use him against stuff like Hody and other content which fears you and special binds you. Upper and bottom load to matching, locks slots for 1 turn, reduces paralysis special bind, and chain boost. This Luffy is really good. I've used him quite a few times. I've even used him on teams where he's not boosted because this is a pretty unique kit. And he can do a combination of stuff that not many units can do. So sure. Not sure if I'll limited expand him though. Like, it's a pretty niche scenario. It's like, if I really need him against some team against Hody or similar content. Moving on, we got the final one. This is Apu. And he got a very nice buff. He goes down to the golden 12 CD. That's like the normal CD, I'd say. He does get hunger, very nice. Hunger is always valuable. We haven't got much hunger content lately, but we still have a lot from back in the day. And this special does so much. It's healing, matching slots for 3 turns, bind removal, rainbow shield removal, and you can even extend attack boost if you've healed enough. It's a very weird special. But I'm sure this combination can come in play sometime. And like, hunger does help. Like, if the content has hunger, you can let Apu remove that or help remove that, and he can remove other stuff as well. So yeah, it's a good buff. Can't complain about getting hunger, I'd say. His sailors are very whatever though. But yeah, that's all the new Limit Break expansions. I've done one so far, Oven. So you see he's got a very nice rainbow border now. And his stats are actually pretty good. Like, some recruits when Limit Break expand get like legend stats, and this is basically legend stats. Very cool, like Berry Pen, double special, we take those. But yeah, thanks for watching guys. See you next time.